Welcome to Dirty Pop.
Milkshake Funeral Dirty Pop.
Milkshake Funeral presents
Disney Plus News Speculation Town.
Bum. How's it going?
Pretty good.
You got some...
Man, we got some... We hit quick show notes. So today, we are covering pretty much Disney news. Some Marvel recap.
You haven't visited, just some house cleaning. You have not visited the Mosquito Coast or hung out at Jupiter's Legacy yet, right?
Not yet. I'm just now watching the first episode of Bad Batch. So I got catching up on content.
You haven't met the mayor of Easttown either, have you?
Mare of Easttown.
Mare of Easttown. It's good stuff. Don't y'all believe that bullshit with the critics' ratings on Jupiter's Legacy? It's good. Watch it. You'll have fun. God forbid we just have fun with our TV every now and then. The same people that hate it tell you to watch a show called 000, which is a big no go. Anyway, cool.
So, some Marvel news. I'm gonna take you to speculation town a little bit on Marvel, and then wrap it up with just a quick little bit of Star Wars.
Oh,
so
you're gonna sprinkle some.
A little sprinkle.
How many midi-chlorians are you up to right now for this podcast? 8. The force is not strong with this one. All right. Well, I'm ready to go then.
Let's do it. So, Marvel news. So, Kevin Feige, I feel like he kind of stepped in a little bit recently.
What he did? Wait, let me guess. He lied about something?
Well, he probably should have. So, there's an article with Rolling Stone. And they were just talking about, like WandaVision. And so I guess there's been a lot of talk. Obviously, we've talked a lot about it. We haven't talked so much about how it's basically been confirmed that Benedict Cumberbatch was going to be in WandaVision. They did plan on doing that. So here's what Kevin Feige had to say.
Who confirmed that, by the
way? Kevin Feige and the showrunners.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, tell us, Kevin.
So Kevin said about Benedict Cumberbatch being in it, some people might say, it would have been so cool to see Doctor Strange, says Feige, but it would have taken away from Wanda, which is what we didn't want to do. We didn't want the end of the show to be commoditized to go to the next movie, which let's come back to that. and then so on to the next movie, and then an M-dash, here's the white guy, and then his quote, he said, let me show you how power works. So there's a little bit to unpack there. I don't know if you want to hit it first. I don't have much to say, and I think it kind of speaks for itself, and it's quite upsetting. So
I'll just say this. They made a decision. Let me steal your thunder. You're going about how they make decisions at Marvel? Is that going to be the crux of your – because I don't want to jump on your –
I'll just say – so I think you're going to get to something a little more deep than what I'm going to get. I'm looking at this a little more superficially. So to me, I was reading the article, and the impression is in an early revision of the show – here's another thing. The Hex commercials that they did throughout the series were going to feature, or there were going to be messages essentially from Strange to Wanda. And apparently, according to head writer Jack Schaefer, there was going to be one where Strange was in one in a community trying to communicate with her. So actually appearing in one of those commercials. And, my problem is instead what they do, they went with deep cut reference imagery from previous, things that have happened in the MCU. Which is mainly just going to give content creators on YouTube something to deep dive on and do, make fun little videos that kind of help boost Disney's presence on the internet.
Whoa. Hang on. In an early version of the show, the Hex, the commercials on the TV,
the fake commercials throughout WandaVision,
were coded messages from Doctor Strange to her.
Yes, that was going to be the intent. It's actually him trying to deliver communication to her, or trying to reach out to her.
Well, that's a lot to cut. I mean, that's a pretty big thing.
It's a big thing to change. Yeah, big thing to change.
And
he was going to appear in one. Most likely the one about the prescription medicine at the end would be my guess, but yeah. And then so my other note is just a little salty about, I think, the way that they went with it, which makes it just seem kind of trivial and stupid. Not stupid.
Talking about the witch boss battle?
No. I mean, the commercials themselves became very trivial, and they served mainly to drive internet content on YouTube for people doing deep dives, trying to elaborate on non-canon explanations that are, since the show doesn't give explanations then they're trying to come up with explanations and provide Disney with free creative content. So yeah, and just so like that's one aspect. I think just his comments are kind of frustrating, I guess, to say the least. So I'll let you kind of go. I know you had some thoughts.
Well, so two things about it, about not the creative decision to do it or not to do it. That's their call. They've made some great stories. They've made some pretty good, and they've made some sneakers under. I mean, Kevin Feige, his best attribute is his quality control. Certainly more so than even his creativity. His project management skills and his quality control.
Must be pretty good. Yeah.
He's not perfect at picking people to make his films. You can just look at how many franchises
have had different
directors, and not usually. I mean, I think Favreau was probably ready to be done after the second Iron Man. He wanted to go do other stuff. That's like, so it's not all like every time a director moves on, it's not Kevin Feige's fault. But that's what he's good at. What I don't know that he's great at is just storytelling. And what is concerning, I'm not saying he's not. I don't know the level of which he has had input into their biggest hits. Maybe he's quite good at storytelling. But I'll just say this: when I hear him say something about, we didn't want the end of the show to be commoditized to go to the next movie, you're a liar.
Age of Ultron, which I actually really liked Age of Ultron, it was purely the setup for Phase 3 of like.
Right.
Every note just about in Age of Ultron was like a note for future movies.
Right.
So like that's bullshit.
Well, yeah. One thing, what I'll say is on that comment, congratulations on finally telling the truth about the TV shows, which is they're going to have no impact on movies. So good for you. Insight, yeah. I'm glad maybe you've been drinking and he finally told the truth. And I don't mean to sound bitter, like, because I'm watching all these shows. I'm happy to have them. It's great. But they blew a bunch of smoke up everybody's ass about how connected they were going to be to the films. They're just there to give a greater spotlight to characters that
don't get much time, and yeah.
Really, just look at who's getting the shows. People that didn't get their own movies. Okay, fair enough. Cool idea. Let's do it. Let's have some fun.
I still couldn't be more excited for Loki.
Yeah,
so I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. No. Right.
Because I don't really have the expectation that it's like tied into anything in particular.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and so good for him for finally telling the truth. But the second part, here's the white guy. Let me show you how power works. Okay, so it's just, first of all, if you have the Doctor Strange IP, and he's one of the more popular still in the MCU. I mean, at this point, he's easily the top 3, and not to be cold, or not cold, but not to be cruel, but now that T'Challa is essentially off the board, which whether or not you should recast him, we can deal with that some other time. Yeah. But like, he's off the board. You don't have a lot left, and so
who are your billboard?
If you can't think of anything better to do with one of your best remaining characters other than have him show up and mansplain to Wanda about how her power works, then that's your failure as a creator. That's not a failure of the character.
If you can't come up with something better, yeah,
that's like that's it. That's all you could do. You just sat in a room like, let's have. I mean, well, that sounds sexist and stupid. So why were you ever going to do that?
Don't do it that way.
What are you going to do? And it gives me concern for the fact that she's going to be in the next movie. If they can't think of what to do with her within in 30 minutes of a TV show, then God help us, what are they going to do for 2 hours?
To me, the thing that's so confounding about that is she's already wildly more powerful than him. So, like, I don't think that's the route you would go. That's like
raw power, but yeah. So
that's maybe not skill, but in terms of raw power, she's like off the charts already. So,
but that's one. Okay, so that's just one. I'm shocked you can't do better than that. And then 2, here's the white guy comment. So, what did you decide he didn't need to be in there at the end to help in any way because he is a white male? That's very problematic. And if that is really your take, and you'll have to forgive me, I'm not sure how else to take here's the white guy. no, here's Doctor Strange, who is the closest thing to a kindred spirit or kindred power that Wanda has in the MCU and probably will ever have. And the two are fairly linked together in the comics.
Yeah. He's prominently involved in dealing with House of M.
So one, that tells me, that quote, here's the white guy, that tells me you were worried about some kind of Twitter reaction. Now look, if you do a shit job and it's Doctor Strange shows up and pets Wanda on the head and says, "Oh, you're doing great, sweetie, but let me save you and everybody here," well, that's your fault. Again, that goes back to one. But two, like, we just explored race pretty deeply, at least for a Disney property with Falcon and Winter Soldier. I thought it, even though that one speech with Sam, it went on about 60 seconds too long, and I maybe would have liked one or two bullet points on how we should do better. But and I'm only halfway kidding. But as a viewer, if somebody's been watching this stuff since or consuming Marvel content since I was 12 and watching this stuff, I guess it just felt icky to have Kevin Feige say one of his two reasons. One being, I didn't want to commoditize the show to go to the next movie. Like, please, if you thought it would get you another $1 billion, of course you would do it.
Yes.
But there's not enough Disney Plus subscriptions to do it, so that's why you're being so brave and you're restraint. But here's the white guy thing. So like, whatever. I'm gonna watch Loki, but it's just such an unforced error to come out and say that. And
I'll even
go ahead.
I can even give you some alternatives, Kev. Because I know you're not going to watch it.
Get his email.
So let's say there's whatever the element. I tend to, for whatever reason, I feel like I read more of the guy, the male part is the more of the emphasis than the white guy. Like, I think you just say white guy, but I feel like they didn't want to detract from Wanda because it was a very female-led show, which is great. I mean, I think Teyonah Parris, is it Paris? Spectrum, Photon. Can't remember, Monica Rambeau was phenomenal. Oh, she was one of the best bright spots of the show. What's wrong with me? Wanda was pretty good, and Agatha was pretty good. So, like, I do understand that perspective, but he's an in-universe character. You don't really have any sorcerers. You've established who are female, which maybe that's your problem. Because but if it's you could go with Wong. You could have brought him in if you wanted to have a little bit. If you didn't want it to be Benedict Cumberbatch, I would have gone. You could even go a very different direction since she's almost had like kind of a villainous turn. You could have brought Baron Mordo in to be like a mentor figure to try to like help her, and then you even kind of support more of your villainous. Maybe it's too much villainy, but. That's an interesting turn, I think.
Or you just bring on Doctor Strange because they're going to be paired up in the next movie, and you don't worry about someone on Twitter talking about the ratio of white males to females in a show. You just do it, and you just have fun, and you do it well, like you've done many other times, and you don't bring this baggage. And you don't.
Because they didn't seem to mind when their big three were. I mean. Whatever, good or bad, they were white males and they were very successful.
Well, when quarterback Sam Darnold, they've got him. They got some audio of him who's just not playing well, and he says, "I'm seeing ghosts." And for our non-sports people, that's like he's seeing defenders and he's seeing things that's literally not there, and it's making him hesitant to pull the trigger and throw the ball. And I think Feige on this one seeing and. Again, we'll skip past one. I think he's seeing Twitter outrage ghosts. You need to just wait and see. Do a good story, Doctor Strange, and don't worry about. Again, if you do it in a shitty way and you have him mansplain to her and you have him be condescending, you're going to get what you deserve on Twitter or whatever or wherever it is. But do a good job, and don't worry about it. So.
Oh wow. Okay.
Anyway.
Sorry. Dragic, that was almost awesome. Okay, sorry.
It's okay. We got a little live NBA look in.
He bounced a ball off of a player when he's turned around to inbound to himself. That was cool.
We're big Dragic.
So you don't see that very often.
No. All right. Well,
that's pretty much. I don't want to beat that too much. I think we've covered it. It's just, to me, it's the sentiment, not what it's not the idea of what he said. It's like you said, it's the reasoning. It's the it's like, why are you motivated to do? But because
all right, well, look,
they don't have a problem. They don't have a problem. Not a big problem. Like I think they're trying to be more like inclusive, and I think they're trying. So I mean, maybe that's an issue that you should always try harder, but maybe they.
It's just weird to me because they're doing a very good job. They did a very good job with Falcon and Winter Soldier. Not the plot, God help us, but in terms of exploring themes, Disney's been probably hesitant to explore. They did a good job with it. It is concerning to me that you are making a creative decision because of, quote, you're worried about, quote, here's the white guy. And I get it. Like, we don't want to watch Bad Boys 1 or 2. We don't want to see Ryan Reynolds come in at the end and save Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. We don't need, so I get it. I do get it. I understand the sentiment.
Yeah.
But he's one of your best characters. He's going to be in a movie with her. Just, figure it out. Anyway, all right. We can keep going.
Even have him fail. Anyway, we don't have to. Yeah, so.
That could work. Anyway.
So. Okay, so then I want to talk. Malcolm Spellman had an interview.
Who's Malcolm Spellman?
He was the showrunner for Falcon and Winter Soldier. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. He had an interview with The Watch, actually very recently, after the season had ended. So a couple quotes from him. This is not his fault. This is kind of plays more into Feige and Marvel Studios and some of their decision making. So this is kind of thin. So I'm not going to come as hard for old Kev on this one. That's
what she's
pretty thin, but. But there was a notion, there was an idea that at some point very early in the process, he kind of was like, I kind of like to have Spider-Man in this, y'all. We're going to be in New York at the end. Can we do that?
Yeah!
And, quote, Malcolm Spellman, then Kevin Feige tells you, no, stop it. And then back to him just talking. Listen, when you first show up to do these projects, in your mind, you think you're going to get to use everybody in the MCU, but Marvel always asks, does this person belong in this story? You cannot just geek out and pull all of our characters in your project because you like them. They have to occur organically.
Because right? And then the rest of his quote that's not there is, because that's what we do. We've been doing in comic books for 50 years, and God forbid we have some fun. I got news for you, Kevin. If your plot was a ship, it would have been the damn Titanic after it had been hit with an ICBM missile that had flowed through time. Your plot was hot freaking garbage on Falcon and Winter Soldier. So Spider-Man ain't screwing nothing up. He belongs in that story as much as the damn Flag Smashers belong in the story.
So I don't. The reason I want to bring this up is to your point earlier. Just quit lying to us, y'all. Just say it didn't work contractually.
No, Sony said,
we don't have a contract to put Tom Holland in this TV show.
Kevin Feige is increasingly becoming Edward Norton in Rounders, where he can't just play it straight.
And again, he didn't say that. This was Malcolm Spellman, but he's relaying basically.
You calling Malcolm Spellman a liar?
I mean, I think he's saying what happened from his perspective, but he's just excluding the part where I'm sure, because to me it's wow, look, there's a budget concern, there's a contract concern. Clearly, Spider-Man was never going to be in this show.
It's just, again,
he wanted to do it, like you said, because comics and so to me, I just wish there was a little more transparency for Marvel to be like, look, y'all, Tom Holland was never going to show up in this show. So anyway, sorry. So you go ahead. Yeah.
I'm all here for Ryan Reynolds and Bad Boys 4. I do like that. I know this is not related, but real quick.
Yeah, I mean, now
that you say it.
I mean, what movie was it that he just popped up in very unexpected? What was that?
Oh, Ted 2?
No. Well, that too. Anyway, we'll think about this because I want to keep going.
He did just kind of show. Anyway, now with again and tonally, I just say contractually. Spider-Man would have been great fun. That was the first time
it was Hobbs and Shaw.
Because that's right.
That's the crazy part.
It was great.
Yeah.
Spider-Man would have been such a cool callback because that is the first time we really see Falcon and Winter Soldier fighting together. Is when they're dealing with Spider-Man.
That was noted in the article that was talking with the Ringers about how one of the things that inspired the show was their moments in Civil War.
Yeah,
so it's funny you say that. Yeah.
Anyway, all right, we can move on.
So, just lastly, he also commented on the status of Steve Rogers on the show, and it's
he being Malcolm Spellman again.
Malcolm Spellman on the status of potentially including Steve Rogers, which I don't know that he explicitly said this in his interview, but he kind of in a roundabout way was like it might have been cool to include Old Man Steve. Since again, at the end of it, last time we see.
Oh, I want to hear this quote because don't get me started on this.
So I've got to tell you the truth, my friend. Marvel won't tell me what happened to Steve, so we were able to write whatever we wanted because we don't know. We're wondering if Steve's on the moon too. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's as good a guess as anything because they won't tell me.
You know why? Because Marvel.
He also, none of them was in the showrunner. He did a lot of the writing for the show as well.
Marvel. They think they're going to be able to get Evans back. And Kyle, you've already said how they're going to do it.
Oh, the little super duper, the Hulk screwed up version of the quantum time machine.
You just push some of that time right on back through.
There you go. Push time through Rogers. Done.
Fixed. You don't want him to be a baby, but he's. I'm as certain that he will be back as I am that Downey Jr.
You were not
be back.
Even like 6 months ago. You've probably been like never, because I was kind of
right. Well,
you've probably seen what he's been doing or what he's not been doing. Maybe.
How was the Red Diving Hotel and the diving?
He looked like Cap.
He did look like Cap. Defending Jacob, which is if Cap had a really messed up home life, but he was trying to keep everything together, but he is still Cap. Okay, May 3rd, sizzle trailer. Where's my hype level?
So this is just wrapping up the news of the Marvel.
That's in the news.
So that came out, I believe it was Monday, May the 3rd. I'm pretty sure it was the day before May the 4th, which is hilarious, that they released their little sizzle trailer and, hey, let's get back to the movie theater thing and forget about the pandy. We're done with all that. Go watch our movies. Which it was great. I mean, I certainly like some people, when they show the audience reaction of Endgame. I mean, sure, I teared up. Whatever, I did. It's emotional.
I cried tears of blood.
So the cool thing about that I wanted to talk about was, so where's your hype level, firstly, based on what we saw? Anything that you're like, oh, shit. Still
Shang-Chi. I'm still more excited for that than I am anything. The ones that are so far out, I'm an apex predator consumer of content, so I've got more than enough. I don't watch any of the YouTube stuff. Sometimes on the Ringer, I'll listen to when they talk about a Marvel show. Other than that, I don't.
A couple reveals that are interesting.
So, but you asked, where's my hype level? Out of 10, I'm about a 7.
Well, how did you feel about the reveal of the basically things we didn't really know were some of the release dates, and Captain Marvel 2 is now called The Marvels, and Black Panther is Wakanda Forever. Is this okay?
I'll do the good first. The Marvels, I think, is an intriguing attempt to inject some energy into what I thought was a pretty lifeless movie.
90s music.
The 90s music notwithstanding, that's the only time that movie moved. Is when they piped in the 90s music. I think Wakanda Forever is a very silly title. I don't like it. I don't get it. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, other than that it's something that they said 100 times already, and they forced all the cast and crew to do it all the.
Tony said that's the end game. Here you go.
Yeah. No, I mean I don't know if it's silly. It doesn't mean anything to me because it implies that something lives on.
Are you like a traditionalist? You just want to call it like Black Panther 2. Like you prefer just the number? Is that?
I like a nice subtitle.
Okay.
And to me, that just
I actually don't mind the numbers.
That sounds like the Baker Boys, A Boy in His Dream, or whatever that was. But
like Iron Man 2. Just Iron Man 2. All right, yeah, fair enough.
They did just do it, right? Yeah. I was like, Winter Soldier.
But everything else, I don't think that's
love and okay. So on one end you got Wakanda Forever.
It's actually just Iron Man 3. So like Iron Man's the only one they're like, you get the number. That's it.
Yeah, Iron Man 3. Shane Black fucks it up. And then so like on one end you got Wakanda Forever, on the other end you got Love and Thunder. Like to me, like that's like so Wakanda Forever. What does that mean? What is that supposed to? How is that supposed to make me feel? It goes on even though Chadwick Boseman is dead. Is that what they're saying? Like
because they had the little voiceover from at the first half of the little sizzle trailer from the Marvel Stan Lee, and when they show the clip from Black Panther, he's like, "This is my brother," and it shows.
Yeah, I mean,
I was like, "Oh, are they trying to tell us something?" Gosh, I hope so.
If the subtitle was Rebirth, and it was leaked that Michael B. Jordan was Killmonger is taking over the mantle of Black Panther, my height would be a 30.
Yeah.
Would be a 30.
Do you think they know that? Because I feel like most people feel that.
If he's gone and Chadwick Boseman's gone, I don't mind. I try to be pretty honest on here. I don't know what's left. What's supposed to carry the movie? Because the Shuri and I know you like it's bad, but like the Shuri in the comics is built to carry the mantle of Black Panther.
She does at one point.
She does, and it's very believable.
It's legit. She's also not a.
Letitia Wright's a fine actress, but she's not. She's not. She shouldn't look in terms of size any bigger than Spider-Man does. She's about Tom. She looks like she's about Tom Holland's size.
I mean, maybe a little taller.
But Black Panther's not Spider-Man, so I don't know. Michael B. Jordan was the yes. I mean.
To me, you get a redemption story, an anti-hero, he
was the soul of that movie. When he says, "Bury me in the ocean," what is that quote? I hate to even say that quote and not do it justice. See if you mind just Googling that real quick? But no. I mean, the possibilities for Killmonger taking over that mantle and Michael B. Jordan leading that. And the anti-hero, the redemption arc, which everybody loves because he doesn't. I understand his methods would have perhaps been a bit sloppy.
Hey, Barry, do you want to read it?
Yeah. Bury me in the ocean with my ancestors who jumped from the ships because they knew death was better than bondage. Woo. Like, that line damn near outperformed. Like, that's a really good movie. It's a very good movie. That line nearly was like, what movie am I watching again? God, that movie's unreal, and one of the best lines and best delivered lines that I've seen in the entire MCU. His performance was amazing. Him lecturing that woman at the museum. What you think? Where y'all think y'all got all these?
Incredible,
God,
dude! Incredible
scene. Yeah. And every time he's on the screen, it feels like
electricity.
It is electricity. Yeah. It's like Brody Point Break bust into a bank. That's not. I don't know. It's just the way it makes me feel. I'd be very happy, and you probably shouldn't call it rebirth right after the lead character dies. I get that. But, I don't know what Wakanda Forever means. I have no clue what to expect from this film. I know what a good section of Twitter that I don't think really watches the movies wants. And good luck. So, maybe once I know more. Go ahead.
So, just on those two, I'm excited. I was just excited to see a title. I was actually surprised to see it. So that's what I would say. I was like, wow, they've already. They said a title and a date, a release date.
Coogler did this. He's done the script already.
So, and then the Marvel thing. One thing I would note, you already hit it, but just if you look at the logo, one thing you'll notice the S looks like the Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan.
I'm very excited to see her powers in action.
And then I don't know if it's the A, but the other symbol I think is a photon or spectrum symbol, which is really interesting. So that's pretty cool about that. Sorry, okay, so you go ahead. I'm going to hit a couple things.
No, I think the Marvels thing is brilliant, and it is not a knock. Look, Brie Larson is amazing. She's a great actress. She has plenty of charisma and charm when you give her a little something to work with. They just suck the life out of that character. She's not written like she is in the comics.
Oh God, no.
And they just, it's like they told her to play it like a bowl of Total, and to defend her, I think that's what the script led to. And most of the movie is her, because, to your point, a lot of these people, they don't know what to do with her, so she's just walking around looking for shit.
Yeah, to me it's like
with D.H. Sam Jackson, which looked pretty good.
Yeah,
actually.
It worked with him.
It did work with him.
In a really smart way.
It didn't look like Robert Downey Jr.
Head bobbling around.
See you, Mom. Bye, Dad. Anyway. So
people really think that was good. I'm like, that was terrible. That was bad. Thank goodness it was short.
Did you ever see when Peter Griffin had all the plastic surgery and his face was his neck all the way? That's what he looked like. It's messed up. But
no, the Sam Jackson DH was really good.
Anyway, so you asked me about the sizzle reel though.
So I'm gonna move on. The ended with the Fantastic Four logo, and I'm just thinking, do we care? Because Kevin, we want mutants. Okay, I know that you seem to be the maybe biggest and maybe only super fan of the Fantastic Four in the world.
It's Marvel's first family.
Bruh, We want mutants.
Give us the mutants, damn you!
Yeah, like that's all I was thinking when I saw it. I didn't even get that excited. Like I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I don't dislike the Fantastic Four. I just don't care. Like,
I don't care.
Unless Doom is going to be incredible. All I thought to myself is, man, I wish Toby Kebbell could be Doom again, and not not the Doom Patrol version of Doom that they did, but like actual Victor Von Doom. So
Doom Patrol's DC.
I know he looked like the character from Doom Patrol in that last Fantastic Four movie. What's his name?
You would love it if that character was a villain in Marvel.
Right. But like that was such a god-awful rendition of Doctor Doom.
It was terrible. The actors had a terrible time.
Like Toby Kebbell, like after watching Servant, I'm like, I love this guy. Like, I wish he could actually get a legit shot at it.
Here's how bad that movie is. You don't even notice that Jamie Bell and Michael B. Jordan are in it. How do you make a movie so bad that you make it that those two characters, those actors who are pretty electric, are like, oh shit, they were in that?
And Miles Teller can be pretty good at times.
Yeah. Yes. So Fantastic Four. Cool. I'm sure it'll look neat, and I'll probably go see it. The casting's going to be so important with that.
Yeah.
So Black Widow, I'm ready to watch it. I've been ready to watch it for some time.
2 years, right? I mean,
in the middle of this pandemic, I would have paid $30 to see it.
A year, yeah. Yeah,
I might have paid $40 and I'll split it. I guess then I'm really paying $20, but like. I hope their gamble pays off because I thought Scarlett Johansson in Endgame was as good as anybody in that whole movie, and
she was like almost the heart of the movie for the most part. Like,
I just hope they played this right. Well, immediately they did. I'm not a big fan of prequels, but anyway, so I don't really have. There's nothing new because we've seen it. We watched a full-on marketing campaign for 4 months for this movie, so. Okay, cool. I know it's coming. I'm gonna try and watch it.
So,
Shang-Chi, I'm off the chain. In this movie, like I'm just every time I say Shang-Chi, I hear like that badass opening song riff and him like strutting like next to his dad, or then the fight scene where he flips the collar. Oh my god! Get off Awkwafina's ass, y'all. All these movies have comic relief, at least the good ones, and she's doing it and doing it well.
What's going on?
Oh, just
I'm not aware of this. You got need comic relief.
You got problems on Twitter with people on extremes, man, and sometimes it's the people that like are going to light themselves on fire if Doctor Strange shows up in WandaVision. Some people want to take shots at Awkwafina's character, and she's too much. Is she too much? Like, man, shut up, man. She's a comedian. She's well established. She's funny. It's gonna be good. These movies have to have some levity, y'all. Anyway, and I question the motives of a lot of the people who are knocking it, and I don't think they want to see the movie anyway for some pretty obvious reasons. But I'm gonna see it movie. I might see that movie twice. I might go with Sean. No, well, anyway. Eternals.
Yeah.
Is that where you're going?
So you're kind of running through them, and I'll kind of think.
Sorry.
So the thing that I want, you go ahead, and I'll just say the thing that I want to know once you're done. No. If you want to hit all of them, because I'm going to say something different than what you're saying. So,
Eternals. Okay. Spider-Man. 2020. I just can tell you, I'm to a point where I get like naturally bored when I see Angelina Jolie on a screen, and I don't know why. Now, it's interesting because she's probably the most established superstar they've ever launched with a property.
Like for her first title.
Yeah. She's bigger than RDJ. I mean, RDJ was kind of, despite Jordan Peele, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
In 2008, RDJ. Like, go way back. Yeah.
Like, so.
He was coming off some.
I think that's interesting. I worry.
A new career path, yeah.
I worry the cast is maybe two-packed. Not to be confused with Tupac, but I'm having trouble getting jazzed for Return. I guess that's just it. Spider-Man. There's a lot of member berries floating around the internet, the rumors for my liking. It sounds like Sony is like, if you want to keep doing business with us, you're going to bring back every single failed character we've ever had, and you're going to shove them in one of these movies altogether.
And also, please help us do this.
Please help us. Is it the same director?
Yep.
Okay. I just think, man.
Who is speculated that Feige may snatch away to do Fantastic Four after this.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
That could be good.
Sorry.
Part of the greatness of Spider-Man is Tom Holland and the screenwriter. All due respect to the director, I don't watch the Spider-Man movies, the two new ones, and go, well, that's some innovative filmmaking right there. They're just fun Spider-Man movies.
That's probably the way with a lot. I mean, you love Homecoming.
I did love Homecoming, but I love the tone.
And I thought that's him. I think that's probably a lot.
Sure, the director gets credit for that, but yeah, okay. Let's see. I guess I just wanted give me a villain, and let's. I'm concerned with.
We're gonna get into it.
De-aged Doc Ock. I know people love his portrayal. I'm not a fan of any of the Sam Raimi stuff.
The actors, he's concerned as well.
Good. I'm glad he's concerned, but I feel like what's the Steve Carell fun Pixar movie?
Despicable Me.
Yeah, I feel like that's Despicable Me. Like that character playing Doc Ock. Like I don't like it, and so he's back, and Jamie Foxx is back, and why don't we see if we can get DeHaan? So if we get back, let's go dig Gwen Stacy up.
Maybe.
Let's get Garfield in there. Let's get Tobey Maguire. Let's get original
Garfield. Or you said Garfield.
What's her name from?
Mary Jane.
Mary Jane. Original Mary Jane. Let's get her in there. Gosh. What else can we do? Who else can we shove back in this thing?
I mean, well, you can't really put Franco in it.
No, Seth Rogen won't even.
Yikes.
It's not working. Yeah, we'll leave that alone for now. But I guess that's my problem. Is
Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst. Yeah.
Yep.
Whatever. Dunst. Yeah.
Dunst. So I feel like I'm being really negative.
Oh, the biggest, which we'll get into this, but I mean.
Thor: Love and Thunder.
No, in terms of who you can get back, it's Willem Dafoe. Hello. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so now we can move. Yeah, let's keep on rolling. Doc Strange.
Tom Holland. Tom Holland's like, what is this? Are you a character from the 90s? Yeah. I guess it was the 2000s.
99? It might have been 99.
Yeah, y'all gotta understand where I'm coming from. I don't like any of the Spider-Man movies. I don't like nothing about it. I don't like them. I like Sandman.
So then, do you want to keep it in the list or?
I mean, Thor: Love and Thunder. Is right there with me with Shang-Chi. I'm telling you, Christian Bale is going to be the God Butcher, and it's going to blow our eyes out the back of our head how good this is going to be. They're going to do Lady Thor, which is a really well done comic run with Jane Foster, and Ant-Man Guardian. I'm always excited for some Guardians. Ant-Man. I like Paul Rudd. I don't know. Ant-Man, cool.
Quantumania.
That's a.
It's gonna. I mean, they've already confirmed Jonathan Taylor is going to be in it.
Who is Jonathan Taylor?
Jonathan Majors. Sorry, not Jonathan.
Who's Jonathan Majors?
Lovecraft Country lead.
Oh, that does have me excited because he's going to be Kang.
Yeah. So
King the Conqueror.
He is going to be King.
And boy, they cast the hell out of that when they cast him.
That's actually something I'm really surprised that they did go ahead and announce. So it's very cool.
He's from that Last Black Man in San Francisco, I believe is the name of the other movie. Big indie hit where he was quite good. Yeah, he's amazing.
So I'll hit this list.
You go ahead.
I wanted to say. So I was just amazed. You look at the list of what they announced. We got official dates for 4 films this year. It's May and none of them have been released. There are 4 films coming out this year, which is shocking.
Which one?
And they don't start until July. Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternal, Spider-Man. All 4 of those are this year, not starting until July, which is amazing.
So one every 3 months.
Yeah, and then you got Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, which I am pretty excited for. Just I have no idea what they're going to do.
New director.
The rumors on that are outrageous. I mean, if they do half of what they're saying, it's going to be pretty cool. I mean, you're talking the potential for the America Chavez character, who in the comics can basically kick her way through universes. Like she can literally just kick
as one does
a portal open. She has some other. That's like her main thing. The possibility of seeing a cameo of like Tom Cruise as Iron Man is just too much to not get excited for.
Is that helpful to the movie? No, now I'm being like the guy that won't let Spider-Man in. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So who knows? It's going to be. I mean, it's called Multiverse of Madness. So, boy, they better not screw with us on the multiverse part. Like, they better deliver on that one because they've been teasing us for a while on that.
You can't call a movie Multiverse of Madness unless the multiverse is prominently featured.
But yeah, and so then you've got 4 films in next year, 2022. Doctor Strange, Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and then the Marvels. Like, again, 4 more movies the next year. And they only announced 2 films in 2023, Ant-Man and Guardians Volume 3. Clearly, that's like the first half of the year, though, so like they're almost certain. They didn't announce the Fantastic Four release date, but they're going to have more than 2 films in that year. So there's a lot. They didn't address
no
Blade,
mutants, no Avengers, no Blade.
They've already cast Blade, so we know they're doing it. So and then we know they're working on Deadpool. So I feel like they kind of left that open because they're just not sure. But we know Blade's happening. We know Deadpool's happening. So
if Deadpool does not come out by 2023, something's going wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I thought that was just pretty cool. Just the way they just rolled all that out there. And that's 10 films over the next, like 30 months, basically.
It's so interesting to me because I've told you since I thought Endgame ended that's it. That was, with little exception, with whatever they do with Thor next, and especially after Chadwick Boseman's death, I thought that's the end of this fun run we've had, and the rest of this stuff will be good. It'll never be this. And I know it's like, well, yeah, of course, Brad, I won't be that guy. No, I don't think it'll be even close. And Shang-Chi gives me some hope. Thor gives me some hope. I'm just not blown away by any of this other stuff. I didn't leave the theater as mesmerized as most folks with Doctor Strange. I liked it a lot.
I don't mean the first one. I just mean Multiverse of Madness. Like, I'm just excited for what they could do, not because of the first movie.
You're right. Yeah, I need to get. I guess we've.
I have no idea what to expect from Eternals, so that's why I'm a little I just don't know.
I don't know. I've got a concern that they think they can throw out anything and make $1 billion. And what they've done with their TV lineup so far has not dissuaded me, because neither WandaVision nor Falcon and Winter Soldier deserved the amount of discussion that they both got. They just don't. They just don't deserve it. But I guess you might argue with me on anyone might take issue with my deserve. It's just the hype machine with YouTube and Marvel is just like, it blows my mind how much.
We're going to get into some of that.
Yeah.
So a light version, something I'd forgotten about.
Look, Mike, you can't play everything, okay? All right.
What? I didn't see. Oh, yeah.
I mean, we all want to see Michael B. Jordan fight with himself.
I think Mahershala's going to be.
Oh, he's going to be good. He's going to be quite good. All right.
But no, I mean, yes, obviously, Michael B. Jordan would be a good Blade.
Yeah.
Is that what it's? I haven't seen the
Yeah.
So how are you feeling? There's been some talk. I've forgotten about Dacre Montgomery from. You might know him from such roles as the asshole brother in Stranger Things,
Season 3.
Brother. Season 3. He was also in Power Rangers. He was the Red Ranger. Those are the 2 things I know.
Pretty good. He looks a lot like
Zac Efron.
Zac Efron. That's how you'll mostly know him, is by going, is that Zac? Oh, that's not Zac Efron? Yeah. He's good.
Would he be a good Wolverine?
He would be a good Wolverine.
Because you're kind of a bit more on the camp of Kingsman guy. And
I'd love to see Edgerton. Taron Egerton. I think he would be the best if you can get him to do it. His build is right. That's not the best reason after what we've just seen Hugh Jackman do.
He's huge.
I think he's a great actor, and he can be funny and charming. And I think you need all those things to do Wolverine properly.
I just like to know what people think. So I'm just curious, kind of how people.
We've come so far. So just to keep things positive, I remember when I was younger, everybody wanted this rocker. I use the term loosely, named Danzig, to play Wolverine. And man, look at that. Now we're talking about Oscar-nominated people. So sometimes I'll be a little negative. So I'm gonna keep it a little positive. We've got some incredible talent willing to take on these roles. Anyway, I would like Doc Gray. Yes, I think he could do a good job. Cool. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna get into some Spider-Man talk now. I love it. That's what I want to talk about. It's like the main thing I want to talk about. It's
wait, you want to talk about Into the Spider-Verse 2? Well, I'll be talking about version. It. Before you start, Into the Spider-Verse broke Sony's brain.
Yeah,
because it was great, but they're just trying to do a live action Into the Spider-Verse.
And I can actually help them do that. I think I have some ideas. So
you have some notes.
I have some notes. So this is all speculation. Like I believe very little of this stuff that I'm seeing and I'm hearing on YouTube.
Well, believe half of what you hear, none of what you read, or something like that.
So you know, if you're not aware, the spoiler kind of rumor scooper community has been for like a year, real heavy on
scooper community.
Yeah. Been real heavy on, like, you're going to see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man reprising their previous roles in the next Spider-Man movie. I mean, all this spins out of the fact that Kevin Feige was basically linking the whole multiverse trilogy of movies and of WandaVision, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man, which WandaVision didn't do anything with multiverse. So that immediately, to me, should give these people significant pause, but they're not having any pause. So they're steamrolling ahead. But that's been the thing. It's like there's apparently a connection between these three in terms of multiverse.
Between who?
It was Wanda Strange and WandaVision, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, and Spider-Man No Way Home. Yeah. We'll see. So far, there's been no reason to believe there's a connection, but that's the thing. So there's this belief there's a connection, and then, of course, that spins into, oh, well, shit, we're going to have every Spider-Man who's ever existed because of the meme of Spider-Mans pointing to each other.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
So, you know, one thing I'll say is Andrew Garfield, there's like a significant, I don't know if it's a majority, I don't think it's a majority, but a significant portion of people who are like, I don't like him as Spider-Man. Look, that first Amazing Spider-Man movie was 10 times better than anything Tobey Maguire did. And I don't care if you don't agree, because that just means you're not paying attention to why Tobey Maguire sucks. So, the second one was a terrible, terrible movie. It might have been worse than any of the three Tobey movies, but that's not because Andrew Garfield was a bad Spider-Man.
I thought he was good.
I thought he was a great Spider-Man. That second movie was a piece of flaming garbage. Mm-hmm. It was horrible. Yes, the movie was bad. It had nothing to do with Andrew Garfield. So he had a lot of the personality that you would expect from Peter Parker from the comics. He wasn't this, I'm Spider-Man no more.
I'm going to dye my hair black and do some bad dancing.
I mean, honestly, that's like not even my big problem.
That's actually a prequel to Law.
I don't even have a huge thing with that. Like, I don't even care about it. I just hate his portrayal. Maybe it's Raimi's fault. That makes me a little concerned maybe for Doctor Strange. But like, man, I think he was an awful, I always felt this way. I always felt like he was a terrible cast for Peter Parker. He had no charisma, no spot, like nothing like. I mean, you saw with Andrew Garfield, like he enjoyed it a little bit. Like he enjoyed being Spider-Man. I mean, like of course, who wouldn't? There was just this.
He always looks like he just like wet farted his shorts too, man.
Oh,
it's rough, dude.
So
I actually liked Kirsten Dunst fine. I know you don't. I'm always kind of low key.
She's always I'll just
stand her a little bit.
Like if you put her beside a brick wall, it's like where does the wall end and where does
how dare you interview
like,
with a
like there's
vampire?
There's like
sir.
No personality.
Oh.
Now again,
melancholia.
I never saw Elizabethtown. Okay, with anyway, yeah, didn't see it. Maybe
that's who it is. Star of we should never talk about the Amazon show.
Loss.
Yeah, we never talk about that. We should.
You know, she might be a good actor, but again, maybe it's the directing, maybe it's the writing. Her portrayal as MJ was not.
Keep going. I'm dragging you down with Kirsten Dunst. Keep going.
We're not going to go to the Franco territory. He's out. Done. So,
what he done.
So, I thought the first Amazing Spider-Man, you had Emma Stone, you had Andrew Garfield, you even had Dennis O'Leary. No, it used to be. Now it's Dennis Leary. Yeah. So, a lot of charisma. You even had a weak villain, extremely weak villain, and that movie was still pretty enjoyable.
Yeah.
So that alone should tell you, wait a minute, maybe he was a good. Yeah. So anyway,
preach on.
We're gonna potentially have Tobey, and he's not. People acting like, oh, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, like y'all, that was more than 20. It was like 20 years ago.
Is he gonna deal cards? He's just gonna be
he's been around here now in Vegas apparently for the last 20 years, but he's not a young buck anymore. So that's something people don't pay attention to with casting. People don't think about everybody's like, yeah, let's get William Hurt as Red Hulk. Like y'all, that dude's in his mid to late 70s.
They're CGIing him in Black Widow.
Yeah, you don't want him cast as a character you want to see for a long time. I promise you. So anyway, that's not for this. But my point is, Tobey Maguire, if he's in it, it's probably going to be as kind of a mentor role thing, as an older Peter Parker, which is. I just hate him as Peter Parker, but whatever.
I hope not. I thought
I really hope they don't do it.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Tom Holland just brings so much charisma. Maybe it'll be okay. So anyway, before I go into some of the cool speculation, I just wanted to say that that's the rumor. They're speculating to be in it. Who knows what to expect from it? It could be a lot of fun. Yes, it would be fun to see 3 Spider-Mans running around doing things. I actually think that would be cool. And the only thing I'll say about the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, the only thing I like is the cool change from the comics with the organic, the biological webbing that comes out of his wrist. I do think that's very cool.
Yeah, I did too.
And I think that could produce a really cool moment where well, there's the line in Civil War from Falcon. Is that stuff coming out of you? So I think you should have Tom say that line to Tobey, which would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Other than that, I do want to hit a couple pure speculations that are more from what I've seen, what I think, and then we can move on. But what are your thoughts?
Tobey is. We don't need any more. Our Spider-Man, which in my brain is the Tom Holland Spider-Man, doesn't need any more mentors. He has had the shit mentored out of himself at this point. Okay, he has been hovered over like a kid with like 10 aunties, 10 grandmas, 10 mom and dad. Everybody's constantly, and everybody, mostly Tony Stark, telling him what to do. He got incinerated for 5 years. He has helped save the universe. He's fought off 2 villains by himself that were 2 very capable villains that inflicted upon him a great deal of pain. I don't think. Yeah, I hope that's not it. I just.
Boy. Yeah.
There's no other than fan service. There's no reason to have him in the movie.
What about Garfield?
He needs to be in the movie.
He actually did have another film on his original contract, by the way. I think he had a 3-movie contract.
I'm very and Miles Morales, that works for me. That works. He's going to be about the same age. These guys are going to be peers. It's going to be fun. It's starting to get a little creepy if we want to keep forcing young Tom Holland Spider-Man to hang out with old dudes so much. Like what? So anyway, yeah. Let's get Miles in there. Let's get Andrew Garfield in there. And
if you want to bring Peter Parker, Tobey, you want to kill him off? Great, do that.
Oh, damn. If you got a good reason, if it works in the story, I'm skeptical.
If anybody's watched it, you vehemently. Is that right?
Vehemently.
Yeah, whatever.
I think that's it.
You strongly disagree. Leave a comment. Explain why we're wrong.
I strongly object.
Yeah, why you think Tobey is the best Spider-Man. I would love to hear someone make a good argument for why he is the best Spider-Man. I can't conceive of one, but I would want to engage. Tell us.
I will just delete your comments.
So here are my thoughts. And this is something that kind of has been going around today. I saw it on the Den of Nerds YouTube channel, so I'm going to give them credit. I don't know if it came from somewhere else, but that's where I saw it. So the idea of Garfield being the Spider-Man in the Venomverse after this movie. If you have some crazy multiverse shit, and I have a thought about how you could do this, but let's say he ends up multiverse blender, boom, he gets spat out into another universe. If he's in the Venomverse, I think that would be really cool to have him with Tom Hardy. If he wants to do more Spider-Man movies, I think that could be a ton of fun. Because Andy Serkis just said in an interview that right now, his Venom and the Venom in this movie doesn't know anything about Spider-Man or any other heroes. So
I need the Lock reunion. I need Tom Hardy and Tom Holland back together again after their blockbuster, box office setting hit Lock, which you should all watch. All kidding aside, that sounds interesting, but still to me the most interesting is to see Tom Holland. To see that version of Spider-Man's reaction. That is what he is the best at. This new Spider-Man, the best thing they do with him is his reaction to everything that's happening around him, whether it's a person or an event or a power. Yes, I strenuously object. Well,
okay.
Is there any other kind?
I feel like kind of petulantly last year after that deal was remade to connect Sony and then Marvel, he's like, well, Spider-Man's the only character to swing between universes, so that maybe tells us all we need to know that it probably will be Tom Holland Spider-Man. So I think that would be cool, though. I love Garfield Spider-Man.
I do.
I thought he had about as much charisma, but a little more sure of himself probably than Tom Holland Spider-Man, which was fun.
Yeah.
So
he's a bigger guy too.
Anyway, that's interesting. So what is?
So wait, just to go back into I guess I am excited for this new Spider-Man just to see what in the hell ends up on the screen.
It could be none of this, and I'm not gonna get disappointed because of my expectations. But to me, it's what else are you gonna do if you're not gonna get wild with it? So I just hope they do something, because we've seen two kind of coming of age movies a little bit and fought two fine villains, but you're gonna have to give me a lot for this movie.
God help us if he's not in college in this next one.
So let's say Toby is there and he gets multiverse blended at the end. You could, I think, if they want it, because there's some talk. This is also on the Dinner Nerds YouTube channel, so the talk of him getting a fourth movie as Spider-Man. I would assume, could it be a Miles Morales intro movie? Basically, into the Spider-Verse, you had that happen essentially. The older, grizzled, depressed Peter Parker meets Miles Morales, and that's kind of the plot goes from there and into the Spider-Verse.
Tom Holland won't look old enough to pull that off for 30 more years.
The Toby, and then you kill him at the end of that movie, and then you've got Miles Morales.
Oh, well, here's what I would say.
I just want to get rid of this movie. Can we hold our Toby vomit in long enough?
If law enforcement is watching, he really will not act to harm the actor Tobey Maguire. He really won't.
The Peter Parker, Toby's Peter Parker
I
character.
think Chadwick Boseman's death has given us a little insight that cuts through the bullshit. They're talking about retiring the character of T'Challa, which is a big deal. I don't believe that anyone gets to take the role into retirement or even, the grave. Obviously, it's a touchy subject, and I get it because he was amazing. He was one of the best actors we had, and he was great.
You feel about Iron Man as well. So.
I do. I'll feel that about. I feel sad because Chadwick Boseman would have kept playing that character
for a long time.
He loved and respected that character in a way that I don't think, other than maybe Tom. It's tough. I know Hemsworth does. I know Tom Holland does. I know Anthony Mackie does. Mm-hmm. I know Tom Hiddleston does. Oh. So there's plenty of them that do. I have a feeling, and I know people. I know Chris Pratt's not always acceptable, but I know he does. But but I think that gives us some insight, because what it tells me is, rather than recast, because just being objective, Tom Holland's Spider-Man is, you would certainly say it's as popular and as important. I don't mean culturally, okay? So I don't want this to get twisted, but is as impactful as in terms of fan love as Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther. Because Chadwick Boseman cannot play it, they are talking about ending the character. I think So that tells me they are not going to want to see Tom Holland leave without one hell of a fight to keep him on. Mm-hmm. So I think any speculation that he's done after the next 2 movies is horseshit. They are literally talking about retiring a character because they don't think.
Well, they're talking about for him. There's like rumors that there's like 2 more trilogies planned
for Holland.
For Holland,
yeah. Okay. Well, that makes much more sense. Well, because you hear rumors that it's clickbait, but he's not going anywhere.
To me, my biggest issue with the stuff is, look, honestly, you know what would be more refreshing, and I would love to be surprised if, like, somehow with new directors and Marvel Studios, if they did bring Toby back and it was good, I would love to be shocked by that. I can't tell you how much I would honestly feel like, you know what, good for him for getting some character redemption. Like, if they do a good version of it.
Just like, take here, Kyle White.
I'm going to make you not suck anymore.
Take this. Look what I did.
Yeah, great.
Rub your nose in it.
I would love that to happen. Man, that would be so great. Because I just thought it was so terrible for 3 movies. But, you know, the thing that's confusing is we have Tom Holland. And they've already said he's probably going to go between cinematic universes of MCU and Sony.
Very cool.
How do you make other Spider-Man movies and then other regular audiences either not get Spider-Man fatigue if there's like a billion Spider-Man movies coming out, which maybe that's not possible, or be like, no, wait, who's your Spider-Man? That's why I'm very skeptical about all of this in reality.
There won't be.
So you kind of think like you won't see Garfield. You're saying like you're not going to see Garfield and Venom. You're not going to see Toby in a Miles Morales movie, or his own standalone Spider-Man 4.
Yeah, you won't. You might see Miles Morales, but you're not going to see a Spider-Man movie coming out every year, ever.
And you mean in some without Tom Holland is kind of my thing. Like,
maybe a Miles Morales movie.
Yeah, he is an established Spider-Man from a separate Spider-Man from the comics and from another universe.
Even then, though, like it's so hard for Sony and Marvel to work together now. You're going to confuse a lot of. I don't know. It's going to be tricky. If Marvel owned all these characters, I would feel a bit better about it. Because like I do, you criticize them for half the podcast. Yeah, but they do plan well typically. I don't know, man. I don't know where all this is going. My default is I think 98% of this stuff's bullshit.
Oh, I actually do as well.
And I actually believe it when Garfield says he's not in it. I believe him. I don't think he's in it.
Yeah. I just think it's fun to imagine seeing multiple Spider-Men running around would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's because it's pretty much confirmed. I think that did Feige confirm that Doctor Strange would appear in? I can't remember if he actually confirmed that he would appear in Spider-Man, but
well, he had to get the YouTube machine going.
So yeah, it's weird. I don't know if I actually believe it. I would love it. I think it'd be really cool. As much as I would love to see Garfield again in Spider-Man, as Spider-Man. I would tolerate Toby.
He was great. I really liked him. I really enjoyed him.
I would tolerate it if you got a cool story.
You'll allow it.
The punchline is, though, I'm pretty sure we're keeping Tommy as MCU Spider-Man for a long time.
He's not going anywhere. Yeah. Y'all, they're talking about retiring a character that those movie is the only MCU film, to get nominated for an Oscar. Okay? It's one of the most popular movies they've ever made. And the lead character dies, and they're talking about, as the lead, actor, about retiring the character. So the idea that they're just gonna not do what Sony's gonna, it's mutually beneficial. He's not going anywhere. He's just not. It's just silly. Wow, what is you watch this YouTube stuff a lot more than I do. What is with all these people who make their living off of covering? I should say covering. They're not journalists. Reacting, talking about Marvel. Why are they always in such a hurry to run an actor off? Like to act like their time is done. Like Tom
Holland goes a click, man. To get people to click and watch their videos would be my guess. Because there's never anything to it until an official press release comes out. So there's really, to your point, no point in discussing it other than get eyeballs. And to me, that's where I don't understand how Marvel doesn't understand how desperate people are for content. I just think they need to be churning out so much content.
Let's get real.
People are desperate for it, so they watch this YouTube bullshit like me, like a lot. So.
he said 2 movies. He was in Civil War for 15 minutes, probably. He was in Infinity War for maybe 20 minutes.
A good bit, yeah.
He was in Endgame for 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Why are y'all acting like he's done 10 movies and he's pushing like 50.
I mean,
and
some
like,
of it's
I don't understand.
There was a 5-movie deal, I think.
Okay, well, people get re-upped,
and they won't, for whatever reason, whether it's Sony or Marvel, they still won't kind of give. They basically gave details of like one more movie. Like they're just playing so close. I think that's one thing that's frustrating for me. Is like, did y'all just put something out? But like, yeah, he's gonna be around. Like, I don't know what the deal is. The problem is Sony, whether you like them or not, they're the one they have the license of the character.
These people, if they watch,
and Disney has no claim to Spider-Man unless Sony says so. So they're the ones at the disadvantage. So they just need to play nice and make it work. But
no. If these people watch sports, their minds would be continuously blown that someone in their late 20s is still playing the sport. Like they just wouldn't be able to believe it. God, that's something I've never really gotten into. I'm so sick of it.
Yeah, that's funny.
Quit trying to run these people off. God, they've been trying to bounce Hemsworth for fucking 6 years, man.
We're done.
God, no, you're done. Now I'm turning into.
So the last thing with Spider-Man, there's the rumor. Again, this is silly. That Marvel Studios has approached a prominent New Yorker for the role of an MCU Norman Osborn. This is part of the Spider-Man No Way Home stuff. That there's going to be that you might actually see Willem Dafoe somehow return from the dead as the Norman Osborn that we saw in the original Tobey movie.
He's not. No.
But then you're going to eventually in the MCU, because they definitely would like. I mean, who wouldn't? I would love to see Norman Osborn.
Recast him.
I would love to see Norman Osborn and do a Dark Reign, which they're kind of already getting into that a little bit in the MCU. Love to see Dark Reign. Really need to have Norman Osborn
and
if you can.
Derek Jeter.
Huh?
As Norman Osborn. You said the prominent New Yorker.
So a prominent New Yorker who they have approached, who's not accepted, and who potentially has a history with Marvel. So that's the lead. And so I have a guess. I think this is a real long shot. No one has said this yet. I'm saying Ed Norton. That would be if Kevin Feige truly is the Hall of Fame, the GOAT of film producers. What better to cement his legacy as the greatest producer of all time than to be able to get Ed Norton back in as
he gets him back in after him having a bad taste in his mouth with Hulk. He's the Jerry West of
right? I mean,
studio runners.
Would you agree?
It's perfect casting. It's perfect casting.
Now,
and I think Edward Norton has disappeared enough from the consciousness that because he was hot shit when he was cast as Hulk and
2008 or 9.
Yeah, and I liked the movie fine. I need to go back and do a little research on what he disagreed with. Because I like the movie fine. He may have had some good notes. I think he's I
don't know how much of that too was it Marvel Studios. That was very early Marvel Studios days. You're also dealing with Universal at the time. Because that was a solo Hulk movie, so Universal was involved.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah. I haven't heard anyone say that yet. People keep saying a lot of, what's some, I've just heard some really dumb, like people saying Hugh Jackman, like maybe, I don't know.
Ben Stiller?
I want to say Ben Stiller. That's interesting though.
Yeah. I just thought of that.
That's a really good one. Keeping the faith, Ben Stiller, Ed Norton.
Bill Hader?
Is he a prominent New York actor? Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, he's not from New York.
Yeah. But no, so that's the thing that people are like getting all spun up about, like prominent New York actor. So you hear Hugh Jackman, I guess he's mostly does he live in New York?
Al Pacino.
Oh boy.
Spider-Man! Spider-Man, what are you doing over here calling me all the rigmarole and the problems?
Do you have a guess when you throw out there?
I literally would, now that I say Ben Stiller, I think he's just a smidge, maybe a smidge too old, although he looked good in that Lockdown movie on Zoom,
Wait, Ben Stiller?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he was her boss.
The CEO. Okay. Yeah.
Lockdown.
Wow.
Fun little movie. Watch Lockdown, HBO Max. Oh, so, gosh. Non-humorous guesses beyond Ben Stiller for me. No, Edward Norton's perfect.
Because to me,
he looks like him.
It's such a like you think, well, it could never be him. Like maybe that's when it is him.
Are there other examples where they have put someone who played something else? Because they consider that canon. That's part of the MCU.
Not that major. Not a lead not the Hulk. I mean, not someone who was the lead. Gemma Chan was one of the Kree in Captain Marvel. Now she's, I think, Cersei in Eternals. Like, one of the lead, basically. She wasn't a lead in Captain Marvel, but now she's a lead in Eternals. That's about the closest.
I love Norton. Let's just do it.
I think it'd be cool as hell if they could pull that off.
Or your next guy, Ewan McGregor.
Ooh, yeah. So moving on. That's it for Marvel. It was mostly we did an hour and 10 on Marvel.
How y'all like the guy that shits all over people that talk about Marvel all the time, and I just forced us to spend probably 45 more minutes than we needed to.
Yeah. So just quick Star Wars blip. So I don't know how I'm a little excited to see Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan show.
I'm extremely excited.
He did an interview with Jimmy Kimmel, and he just seemed really happy to be there and to be doing it, which made me feel really good. I'm like, all right, so he's not just like, yeah, I'm here, whatever. Like he's like, yeah, it's great, I'm loving it. So he did mention how he filmed a scene on May the 4th. They filmed a scene with someone who is dear to him. Now he didn't say, did he mean himself as in Ewan or Obi-Wan, which is interesting to consider. Someone that could be dear to him in the real world or in the show, the character, they filmed a really cool scene with on May the 4th. And so we'll see if that pans out to be anything in the show, or I don't know, but it really made me feel good. I know there's not much to this, but I felt good seeing how psyched he was to be there filming this show. They've been trying to do this for a while, and he's been on board the whole time. So I'm not saying there was ever a time when he was like, I don't want to do it. Like, I think he's been wanting to do this for quite some time.
Yeah.
But,
well, I think they went back and forth. What is it going to be a movie? Is it going to be a show? So I'm excited. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm enjoying the Bad Batch. I'm enjoying the selected samplings from the Clone Wars season. I'm just now getting around to that season 7. I hope Dave Filoni has something to do with it. The Obi-Wan show. I don't know if we know, but
I don't know.
Yeah. The only, for me with this stuff, it's always for this stuff. With this stuff, I mean prequels. Is not that I need stakes, because God knows I've lectured more about quit whining about stakes as much as anybody, and just have some fun. There's not just life or death stakes. There is what's going to happen to this character. What's he or she going to become? What's going to happen to him? What do they look like by the end of the season? What do they look like? And that's the only problem for me. Going back and doing these, there's going to be an Ahsoka series. There's only so much that can happen to them because I know what they look like when they're older.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean just like physical scars. I mean, I know how they kind of even carry themselves. I'm excited. I'm going to watch it. I can't wait. I'm glad they're doing it. I just, could we get an Ezra Miller show set now? And I don't care about what his age should be. Like, can we get some stuff? But anyway, I think it's great. It's not Ezra. God, I always say Ezra. What's Ezra's actual name in
Bridger?
Star Wars? Bridger. Okay, Ezra Miller. We're getting plenty of Ezra Miller. He's the Flash. He's very good at it.
He's not punching people.
He's not punching people. He's slapping people. Anyway, I shouldn't laugh. That sounds like it was probably not a good move on his part. Yeah, I can't wait.
Whoopsie.
Do they have any idea when it's going to drop?
No, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen an announcement, but I'm not as plugged. I don't care
You're
that
not
much about
in?
Star Wars stuff. I don't watch as much content about Star Wars.
Yeah.
I don't care that much. I do like Star Wars content.
Yeah.
I've watched the first hour of the Bad Batch episode. We'll get just a few minutes left of that one. It's really good.
It's good. It's long.
I loved Rebels.
Rebels is the best Star Wars stuff that I think they've ever done.
Because I've never loved any of the 9 films. Then there's I think we're very much in the minority on
the new stuff.
Not Solo, which nobody really liked it, but
Rogue Squadron,
Rogue One.
Rogue One. I hate that damn movie.
Yeah, that's the first movie, only one of 2 movies.
It's a Star Wars snuff film
I've ever fallen asleep in while sitting in the chair in the theater.
The robot was cool.
Yeah, but yeah, I just have never been too psyched about it.
Was that Sound of Metal? Is that him?
Yep.
Are we sure?
Riz Ahmed.
Riz Ahmed.
Yeah, he was in that.
He's not the one that got his head messed with, though.
Yes.
Is he? Huh, how about that?
I mean, obviously, when I used to like the original 3, and they're still good, but like, I mean, I liked Revenge of the Sith quite a bit. I liked Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, some heresy. I think there are more cool Star Wars moments can be plucked from the prequel trilogy than can be plucked. Like if you take 3, I think there's more cool Star Wars shit in the 90s or late 90s, early 2000s prequel trilogy than I think there are in the other.
The last 30 minutes of Revenge of the Sith is pretty badass. Actually.
Coolest lightsabers I've ever seen. But that's what I watch.
The fight with Maul at the end of, even as bad as Phantom Menace is, that fight seems pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I agree with you because I mean you can say whatever you want about Lucas, but he knew what to do with the Jedi.
Well, you can go.
The technology was there, so
yeah.
That's it. That's all I got. Is there anything else you wanted to hit? We've kind of beaten Marvel news pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not a dead horse. It's live. It's active. There's always
look, man. I watched the Sizzle trailer. I watched it 3 times. I didn't watch it as much as I watched the Shang-Chi trailer, but I watched it a couple times. Definitely hits you in the feels. I'm at a wait and see because I feel like they weren't prepared for what comes after Endgame. That's all. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, man. It was good. Start watching.
Y'all enjoyed it.
Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. We're going to talk about we got a big Cobra Kai show coming up.
Woo! We've been teasing that for a little bit.
I know. Next week and a half.
A ton of work.
I've done a ton of work. My spreadsheet is almost complete. We're going to take it. I think we'll take it a season at a time. A season, show per a podcast, a streamcast per season, because I want to just hit the notes, the quotes, and I want to talk jail time and who is going to be going along for how long people are going to be going away for. So cool. All right, having a peace.